going to be unlocking and awakening from there. If you don't know me, my name is Vanya Silverton. I have been a transformational energy healer, teacher, leader for the last 10 years. And I have always had a women's work department in my work, because it's such an important thing for us. Um, and as a result, I have things like a living goddess retreat that I do once a year. I have a embodiment coaching certification program for women. I have a teacher training for women as well. And I also have online courses. I've written a book around it all, because it's a very important path. And the awakening and the evolution of the female body is a very beautiful and exquisite, and dare I even say, orgasmic experience. And this is the gift that I'd like to give to you tonight, so that you understand how very important it is. So, women are complex beings, right? The female body is very complex in some way in design. We are multidimensional, multifaceted, multi-emotional, multitasking, multi everything women. Our body, our system is designed to be multiple things at once, which for me is why, as a woman, we learn to embrace all of who we are. We learn to embrace our totality, and embracing our totality is key to helping this evolutionary path as a woman. Not only do we have a lot going on in our system, we are also live in a body which is changing all the time throughout the month. So we could be 4 or 5 or 10 different women within our menstrual cycle throughout the month. I know I certainly can. My wants, my needs, my desires, my emotions, my perceptions, my who I am, what I'm doing changes literally all the time, right? And so it takes a lot for us to keep up with ourselves sometimes. And it's very important that we learn as women to strengthen our being and our system with our sexual energy, which is why I often talk about claiming your sexual energy as a sacred path, is because once we do, we learn the sexual energy starts its journey to transcend up through the body, right? To connect us to the heavens, and, ultimately so we can make love to love itself, and the universe, and all that amazing, orgasmic, beautiful things. But really what it's doing on more of that strengthening position is that it helps knit us back together, so that we can be all of who we are, but we're knitted together with a strong sense of self, with a strong identity, with a strong purpose. And the sexual energy is part of this ingredient inside of us that knits us all together. Which is why then, as a powerful woman who has allowed her sexual energy to transcend, I can be simultaneously sad and liberated. I can move through my grief and pain and go through that journey, and at the same time be visionary and focused. I can go to the depths of being heartbroken and devastated in my relationship, and yet simultaneously open up my capacity to have a love affair with life. And if a woman doesn't knit herself with a strong core, she starts to get fragmented inside, right? As opposed to being whole in this one ever expanding experience of her female body temple. I hope you're getting with me. Hope you're getting with me. Hope you're with me on this. If a woman is fractured, right, she will start to polarize inside of herself, and she'll start to get this feeling of being overwhelmed with herself. Maybe there's this feeling of, oh my God, I feel a little bit crazy. I feel a little bit out of control. I feel a little bit hysterical. I feel like I got all these feelings and emotions and thoughts and perceptions and intuitions and all sorts going on. And I'm also jealous. She will get too over complicated within her own system, and she will end up slowing herself down in life. And we get this a lot, right? We're like, oh, I can't move forward, or oh, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to do anything, or oh, let me just go down this path, even though I know it's the wrong thing to do. And our system gets overwired and stimulated because we process a lot at once. And that's why I'm saying allow the sexual energy to knit you back together. If we don't allow this process of this sacred sexual energy becoming a sacred force, you will never feel strong and whole and complete inside yourself, because it is your sexual energy which is going to make you, what's the best way I can say it? It is your sexual energy which is, it strengthens you and makes you come back to present time and in the now within yourself. And simultaneously, it allows you to feel stronger in your centeredness. And so it's a super important thing. And I'll explain more about that and how to allow the sexual energy to be a sacred force, which is why it's such a key in a woman's awakening. If you're a woman who wants to become better at your business, if you're a coach, if you're a healer, if you're a teacher, if you're a mother, if you're a politician, if you're an entrepreneur, any of those things, it's going to have to require a woman who can not only stand strongly on her feet, be centered in her heart and her head and her intuition and her knowing, so that she can have her visions to move forward. The sexual energy helps bring us into present time reality when it starts to transcend up the body. And the sexual energy, once it learns to transcend up the body, goes deep into our being and allows our inner beauty to become our outer radiance. It is a force of life force that allows our inner beauty to become our outer radiance, because it allows us not only to be present in our body, it allows us to open up and blossom and expand and expand and expand and expand and shine and radiate in our totality, right? Why? Because we feel super safe inside of ourselves that we can be more. Which then says our sexual energy as a sacred force makes us safer and stronger and more stable. And the sexual energy is not something I'm talking about just in the genital area. I'm talking as when we claim it as a sexual force, right? We allow it to unlock from its basic procreation needs, and we allow it to change its energy and let it to transcend up through the base chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the brow, the crown, all through the body, right? And it makes us whole and total. It's a sacred force. And we have to begin this journey as women. And the reason we don't begin this journey is because we're never told, right? We're often told the sexual energy is wrong, it's a sin, you've got to hide it. Or maybe it's too wild and has taken you on some crazy adventures. Or maybe religion or culture or your mom, or there's been abuse or trauma and it shuts you down and you get closed. So when the sexual energy has been traumatized, right, or you've had experiences which have shut you down, you get closed and your whole system goes into a frozen state, and this awakening and blossoming doesn't take place. And oftentimes when we're in this closed, frozen state, right, what happens? We don't want to be here, right? We don't want to be in this closed, frozen, and we start to disassociate. We start to go into all these other crazy parts of us, and then we wobble and we wobble and we wobble, and then we feel completely out of alignment in life. So the idea is that we unlock the sexual energy. The idea is that we free the Shakti inside of us. We let the Shakti move through our being and our body so that it can awaken and pulse and move. And we have a new sense of self to contact and live from. And then we get to knit the rest of ourselves together. And so this is an important key for all women. And it's a key that I have to come back to year after year after year after year. I have to come back to it again and again and again and again. Because every time I want to go to the next level in my business, in my love life, in my experience with the divine universe. I always come back down to this, awakening the female body temple. I always have to come back to unlocking the next layer of my closedness. I always have to come back to the next layer, freeing the next layer of my life force to exist. I always have to come back to allowing myself to exist more and more and more. And in that, opening up my capacity, my energy field for my radiance to become more and more and more and more, so that I can take up more, on some level, energetic and vibrationary space in the universe, so that the universe goes, hello, I see you, I know who you are, what you want, because I'm able to put more of my frequency out onto life. So this path of female awakening, this path of female ascension is so vital. And it's a path and a key that I come back to again and again. And every woman needs to come back to again and again and again. Because there are times in our lives that we get shut down and closed. A heartbreak happens, we get shut down. We get a job loss, we get shut down. There's a fight in the family, we get shut down. And we lose our magic quickly. And the quickest way for us to recover our power, recover our magic, recover our intuition, recover our voice, recover our boundaries, is to recover our sexual energy as a sacred force. So important. So I just want you to know this. Know this, know this, know this. And this is why I love doing my goddess work in the summertime, because there's a lot more summery light. It allows us to feel more free with the way that we dress. It allows us to contact this very sacred part of us more and more and more and more. And we can't reject this part of us. We can't deny this part of us from awakening and existing. You can't. Otherwise, if you do, you will feel flat and disappointed. You'll feel lifeless. You'll always be looking out like everyone else has got it except for me. You'll always end up choosing that partner just to get a little scrap of love from them, or something to make you feel alive some way, but you know it's not the right thing. You'll always feel like, oh, I've got some visions, but I just feel like I can't quite make it happen. I don't have enough energy, enough power, enough oomph inside of me. And we have to come back to this. We have to come back to learning to awaken one of the most sacred parts of our body. It's so sacred, your sexual energy, as a sacred force, as a transcendent force, that it opens up your ability to create. So if you're feeling barren, barren, maybe you're barren from having children, but maybe you're barren with your ideas. You've got no new ideas coming in. Things are stagnant. The sexual energy is going to bring that creative power back to you, right? Maybe there's a part of you which is feeling ugly and fat. We all get that, right? That ugly, fat. You got this layer of stuff on you that shouldn't be there. You're starting to eat a little bit more because you don't have any energy, and all of a sudden you're drinking more, drinking more coffee and eating more sugar, and you start to feel more and more dull because you're trying to find that pick-me-up, right? The sexual energy is the key. Learning to awaken it, learning it to move through the body is the key. Why? Because it's the spark. It feeds your body. It feeds your adrenal glands. It feeds the hormones in the body and strengthens the hormones. If we go back to old Taoist traditions, right, they actually learn to take the sexual energy, and through breath work and intention, they move the sexual energy into the liver. They move the sexual energy into the lungs. They move the sexual energy up to the brain to stimulate the brain, because they know it's a powerful part of the body, right? But for women, We have not been allowed to connect to this power as a sacred force for so long, for so long. Religion has made it a sin. The fear of pregnancy and chastity belts and children without marriage has made it wrong. We've gotten fearful of it. It's collapsed the sexual energy inside. If we've had abusive partners, trauma, if people haven't respected our bodies, overstepped our boundaries, we might even not know what our boundaries were and they've been overstepped, shuts it down, right? If we've had parts of us, which have been in low self-esteem or body image issues or body shame, right? We're going to stuff that sacredness down inside of us because we feel so ugly and horrible inside, and we're just connecting to this instead of learning to connect to this deeper beauty that lives inside of us. Media's portrayed sexual energy as pornography, right? Or that section, but actually there's a much more enlightened, liberated thing, and we need to find it. And for me, this path is so important because it transcends the need for a partner to awaken the sexual energy as a sacred force. In fact, no man, no woman, no teacher or teaching can claim your sexual energy as a sacred force. Only you can. And you must. Because when you do, you awaken the most powerful part of your body. And for women, we're just starting to step into a moment in time where there is a very big revolution of sacred sexuality awakening. But the journey always begins with yourself. The journey always begins with you claiming it yourself. And when that happens, you will no longer, right? You will no longer be fragmented with all these other aspects of yourself as a woman. You will start to come together, strong, aligned, and powerful. And for me, it is the most important thing for a woman to come to. And I just need to let you know this. I need to let you know this. And it's a journey. Because as we let the sexual energy start to wake up, we let the kundalini energy start to rise, it's going to hit up against all the blocks in our chakras as it opens up, right? And when this energy hits up against all your blocks in all your chakras, your stuff's going to come up, right? Your karmic blocks will come up. Your deep heartbreak will come up. Your sadness that you've had trapped in your body will come up. The unwanted pain that you've been feeling will come up. But it comes up because this deeper life force is pushing it to the surface. Come on, deal with this. Come on, you don't need to have this unworthiness anymore. Come on, this heartbreak needs to go. You can't live like this anymore. Come on, this poverty energy, that your scarcity needs to go. And so as you awaken this part of you, these other parts within you, right, that are so damaged and broken and unwanted and fragmented are going to come up to the surface. And this is a good thing. Not easy, painful, might cry, you might need some help, but it needs to come up. It's this mud, right? Mud, your mud, your density, your lower story, because the body stores everything. And what we're wanting is we're wanting this sexual energy of you to become such that it moves through you and opens up your whole energy field. It moves through you and connects you to the heavens. And this is why it's a path of ascension. And it's a path of ascension that's not often taught in spiritual teachings. Because for generations and centuries, they've deleted the sexual energy as part of this journey, right? But we have to take it. Otherwise, we'll never be grounded in our body. We'll never be fully incarnated here. We'll never be very present within our system. So if the stuff comes up, the hurt comes up, the heartbreak comes up, you love on it and you breathe through it, and you love on it, and you breathe through it, and you love on it, and you breathe through it until it disintegrates and dissolves. And then you're no longer that story. You're no longer that pain. You're no longer the unwanted parts, the jealous or the confused parts. You're no longer the broken inner child. You're no longer the poor one that is too scarce to have more in your life. It's one of the quickest ways once it starts to ascend because it makes you true to yourself very quickly that that mud which is not your truth has to fall away. And so a lot of times people go on this journey of healing this and healing that, and I've got to heal the inner child, and I've got to, oh my God, it's the trauma I had when I was 14, or oh, it's because I've got a generational drama that went on, which is the way I am, and oh no, it's because of this and because of that, and you come up with all these great ideas of why this is that and why that's this, and we can get down some very interesting rabbit holes to heal ourselves and awaken. But actually, if we go with the sexual energy and let it rise and transcend and open, we instead we view our system from a whole other perspective. We view it from a place of strength. We view it from a place of more totality. We view it from a place of liberation. We view it from a place of ecstasy and orgasmic vibrations and radiance, right? And when we allow that to step forward and that to awaken, the other stuff just feels insignificant. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's nice to know why things sometimes formed or why you got caught in stuff, but it falls. And that's what we're needing. We're needing this quickening process to take place because if you're someone who is here destined to do more, right? If you know, you can feel it in yourselves, there's more for you. You're destined to do more. There's bigger things, there's greater things, there's a greater experience. Then we need to fast track. We can't get stuck in this healing journey for too long. So the awakening, the liberation begin with the sexual energy. It's a whole new path of ascension. And for me, because I'm in a female body, I get excited by the female body awakening. I get excited when consciousness returns back to the vagina and the yoni, and consciousness returns back to the ovaries, and divine consciousness returns back to the fallopian tubes in the womb. I get excited when consciousness returns back to the breasts and the nipples and the heart and the voice box. I get excited by that. Because when these parts of a woman start to wake up, she feels like she can do more in her life because more of her is here. Otherwise, as a woman, our power can often feel very small inside. Like we can know it, we can feel it, and we might have the vision, but it feels very small. Our power doesn't take position. And the reason why our power can't take position is because our true consciousness hasn't woken up in all the areas of our body. When a woman awakens the power points of her menstrual cycle, like each part of her menstrual cycle has power points in it. She can ride the changes that she goes on every month so beautifully, so perfectly, that she masters her reality. But when a woman doesn't bring consciousness to a menstrual cycle, when she isn't empowered by her female body and her sexual energy, she lives more of a chaotic, fractured, what's going on, one step forward, four steps sideways, two steps back, I've got this to do, that to do, right? And her path gets slowed down. And so for all of you who are seekers of the divine, who are seekers of love, who are seekers of ascension, who are seekers of your Dharma, who are seekers of your destiny. This is the most beautiful place to begin. This is the most beautiful place to begin. And it's the most easiest, and it's the most simplest, and it's the most empowering. And like I said to you, I come back to this point every year. I hit up against it. I'm like, I got to get back to this work again. Well, we fall off track a little bit, you know? And other times we've got to go deeper. Because like I said, if we're wanting more out of life, if we're wanting more love, we're wanting more abundance, we're wanting more joy and all those things, we've got to open up our capacity to experience and receive a hell of a lot more. A hell of a lot more. And if I'm wanting more growth and more abundance and more love and more extraordinary, I need more of me here to be able to handle it all. There is no way in hell that I can have more in my life if more of me isn't here in one place. If I am fractured into all my unwanted, rejected parts, unhealed parts, blah, my life's going to feel fractured. Things aren't going to manifest as easily, as clearly. Right? I need all of me to be here in my totality, in one beautiful position of power. I need my sexual energy as a sacred force to knit me back together. Whoosh, right? Knit me all back together. Knit me all back together. And so I don't take this path lightly because there's a power in it, if that makes sense. So I want to leave you with a very beautiful, maybe 2 or 3 beautiful exercises that you can do to begin this journey, right? It's a beautiful journey. And the growth that you have from making this a path of awakening is exponential and sublime, to the point where you are being made love to by the universe itself, where you're in that deep communion and intimacy and with every single molecule of reality. Like, it just doesn't end this path. But to begin it, the first most beautiful place to begin is to notice your sexual energy and let it exist. Or you could call it your Shakti if you want to, noticing that Shakti life force, as they refer to it in Hindi, and letting it exist. Letting it be a primary part of you. Let it be the go-to reference point of yourself. Like, if you just played with this, if you let this be the reference point of yourself for the next week or 2 weeks, what would happen? Who would you be? Right? So this is the Shakti is the life force tremor, the sexual energy, the original sexual energy tremor. Yes, once it goes through the genitals and the sexual palace, you can get this state of arousal and you're wanting to find someone to make love to, right? But beneath all of that is this tremor, right? Because it has a different experience as it wakes up in different parts of the body, right? And this tremor, you can feel it. It often sits right at the base of the spine. And it is sometimes the place where the Kundalini starts to open up and awaken through the spine and everything. But it also opens up and flowers through all the energy pathways of the body. And we're wanting this tremor to exist. And you might feel it. You might feel your body. If you can just be mindful of it. The most beautiful place to feel it is either you'll feel it in the genitals area there, the sexual palace, or you'll feel it at the base of the spine. And you just want to notice it. You just want to notice that tremor, that feeling. If you can feel it, you can let me know, give me a thumbs up or something. But it's there, it's that tremor. It's there, it's alive, it's alive. And if you just let it exist, so you breathe into it, be conscious of it, send your breath into it. And the exhale, you just say yes, you can exist. Inhale down to it, and say yes, exist. And through that existence, you let this tremor expand through you. Let it expand through your sexual palace, your ovaries, your vagina. Let it expand through the whole area. And you'll feel it expanding up, and you might feel it shimmering up through the hips. You might feel it snaking up through the spine a little bit. It can feel very light, and it can feel very electric, right? A lot of, like, I'm starting to feel it shake out of my hands. Like it comes through the whole body, right? And you just want to let your body move with the tremor. So if you let the tremor exist, even if it's very small, just focus on the smallness of it, right? It's good. Let it breathe it, let it exist. If it feels like it wants to move, let it move. Let it move you. Maybe it wants to do some bigger movements, right? Some bigger movements and some beautiful undulation movements. A lot of the belly dancing movements is because they're letting this Shakti, this sexual energy, move through their body and move them, right? Move through the body and move them. Let it move out the fingertips. Let it move out your hair, your ears, your nose, right? Let it move you. You might want to circulate it, but you're after this tremor to like move through you, right? It's beautiful. And it's very beautifying. What it does is it gives you this feeling of your inner beauty can become your outer radiance. And it's this very radiant feeling because it also goes through the energy part, like the auric field and the energy field, right? Like this. It's very beautiful, but let it move you. So you want to let it move you. You might want to breathe it up your spine. And through the breath, you can just call it up. Come on up. Come on up, come out to my fingertips. And it's a practice. And it's a very beautiful practice because not only are you letting part of your original life force exist, but through this practice, you're letting the energy pathways open up so that this sexual life force, this Shakti, can start to move through you. Because a lot of people have stopped it and blocked it. And through their trauma or through their stuff, they've closed it all up. And then this part of them isn't allowed to exist, right? And the idea is we want it to exist. We want it to open and expand and flower. And as it opens up through the system, you might feel old parts of you falling away, right? Because it's like, oh, bits of mud or bits of density or bits of emotion falling away because there's that deeper part opening up. If you really get lost in it, you'll feel your ego falling away. You'll feel all this construct, identity falling away. Because the purity of this energy, this life force is so beautiful. It's you, it's your essence in physical form. It's your soul in physical form, wanting to exist, right? So let it dance with her. That's why you see a lot of women who do, sensual practices. It's like they dance with it every day. They let it exist. They welcome it. It's such a powerful part of you. Such a powerful part of you. You have to let this part of you exist. You can spend a lot of time purifying your thoughts, trying to get rid of your ego, trying to begin the pilgrimage down to your heart, right? You can spend a lot of time on that, trust me, right? But this tremor, this light, this sensual energy, if you learn to contact it, embrace it, awaken it, it's going to fast track you in so many beautiful ways. So play with that, let it move you. And the ultimate thing, right, is once we've all the mud's shifted and the hurt and the pain and the trauma and all the stuff that might be on top's gone, you're going to feel so youthful and vibrant on one level. You're going to feel super beautiful on another level. You're going to feel much more clear in your mind and more like spontaneously powerful with your words. But it will move you. It will move you through to your destiny. It will move you to go and connect to that person. It will move you. I'm sure you've all had this feeling inside of you where you've been moved by this force of energy to go do something, right? Well, we need this part of us online more. We need this part of us to exist more, right? Exist more. So important. Because if we had this online with us more and more, we'd be fast tracking, we'd be moving to the right place at the right time, we'd be in that flow, we'd be in that space of synchronicities and more miracles taking place because we're being moved by the truest part of us all the time. But it is a practice. We get distracted, right? All the time we get distracted. So that is one of the most beautiful, but let it feel the tremor, even if it's small, let it grow, let it exist, let it grow, let it exist. If you did this every day for 10 minutes, I, come back and let me know. Come back and let me know. And this is just one little key in the path of sensual awakening, but it's a very important key. It's a very important key into becoming one amazing woman. And I want to share that with you. So practice that. If there's one little tool or gift, practice it and you'll feel yourself becoming more total and complete. It's a beautiful, powerful practice. And you can get really like lost in it. And to the point where you can also let your body have these extraordinary orgasmic experiences without even having any genital release or touching your just through your body letting this energy move through you, come out your ears. You can have an orgasm out your ears because this energy is moving through. And what is an orgasm? It's a liberation of your essence through your system. It's like, and we're wanting that liberation to take place. We're wanting you to liberate your essence through your ears and your nose and your third eye and your throat and have through your body. We're wanting you to have that liberation because through that you remember yourself, you return back to the frequency that you are, and then life becomes easier. So practice it. Practice this tremor until it becomes this extraordinary orgasmic experience. And then you can take it to a whole other level where the universe can make love to you, but that's a whole other story for another time. But I need to let you know this. It's so important. And so the quickest way to let go or heal the unwanted parts of you, the fractures, is to do this. You can spend years, trust me, healing all the unwanted stuff or doing integration work or polarity work or whatever. But we need to quicken the journey. We need to quicken the journey. So just soak in all that information. Just felt like a lot came through there, but it is a practice and you need to practice this. Even if you just do this all summertime, this would be a beautiful thing for you. So yes, sorry, I can feel all of this sparkly in the air. And it's very nice. It makes you magnetic, right? It brings a beautiful energy to your whole body and system, makes you glow, right? We want to glow. We want to have our inner beauty become our outer radiance. We want to walk into a room and heads turn. We want to all be noticed and felt and seen and recognized. But we can't be seen and felt and recognized and noticed if we haven't done that with ourselves first. So notice the most purest energy inside of you, right? Notice it. Let it exist, let it live, right? And yes, it's a journey sometimes to unlock it. There are reasons why we do breath work. There's reasons why I teach my retreats. There are reasons why I do my online courses and my coaching certifications. And there are private sessions. And all of that stuff is because actually sometimes getting back to this pure part of us, requires an unlocking, requires very specific tools and technology to unlock so that you can let this true liberation take place. But start with this Shakti tremor and life will be amazing on many levels. And this path of sensual enlightenment is so detailed, is so detailed through the female body, through the breasts, through the vagina, through the womb, through actually the sexual energy being a liberation, through awakening the intuition. It's so detailed in what needs to take place that the Living Goddess retreat that I've got coming up in summertime, right, in July, exists because of this. And we go on a very deep journey over six nights, 7 days, unlocking and awakening consciousness, unlocking and awakening your female body, unlocking and awakening your sexual energy, unlocking and awakening, your ability to orgasm, unlocking and awakening your ability to be made love to by the universe, unlocking, your male and female energy within you to have a divine inner marriage. And we do this over 6 days, 7 nights. It's full of amazing ritual, ceremony, breath work, dance, deep healing. We do crystal layouts, so we put crystals all around us, and we go deep into your past lives. We unlock your magic. We unlock your gifts. There's lots of women and sharing and sisterhood, amazing food, siestas. And it's a path of awakening. For me, I'm interested in helping your soul incarnate into your body so that you can do what you're meant to do here. And the Living Goddess retreat is unlocking the most fundamental part of us, our body temple, from the female body perspective. And the whole retreat is an initiation that you take yourself on to take yourself to the next level. It's a rite of passage in many ways. So if you've got wounds around mother or moving through different phases of your womanhood, then this is a very powerful part for you. If you've been heartbroken from relationships that you can't get over, it's a powerful, powerful retreat for you. So that is available to you. It's over, I think I've got 2 spots left. There's literally 2 spots left on it, and the early bird ends at the end of the month. So come and explore and DM me or whatever. I'll give you the link. If this is calling you, if this is your path, it's a very powerful path. It's not goddess and love and let's put flowers in our hair. No, it's a path of ascension and awakening, and it's beautiful. And for those that are in London, we have a 1-day workshop coming up on the 3rd of June called Wild Womb with my amazing sister, Appy, who's going to do some sound work and journey. So that's available for you. And for those that can't come to either of those retreats because they've got life going on, they can't get there, then I have put together a Lioness summer offer for you. And the Lioness is a powerful woman who knows she's powerful, but just isn't there quite yet. She knows she's got things to do, but she's still despondent and kind of like heartbroken. She knows, but she's still sitting on the couch watching Netflix. Or she's still blaming and being a victim. So if you're that woman, if you've got that lionessy goddess energy, amazing woman, revolutionary woman inside of you, and you're like, all the time, then I also have an amazing lioness journey for you, which is something that is so special, and I will give you more details on that later on. But look out for that one. This is very powerful because I know so some women out there that really, really need it. So these are my amazing offerings that I have coming up this summer. And this is the time, ladies, women, because I want to give you the tools and the teachings And then you take them for the rest of your life and you use them. You get the tools and the teachings and the technology, and then you keep coming back to it year again, year again, year again, right? And then you can find your own way of doing it. But we all have to begin this path. It doesn't matter what stage you're at. If I'm wanting more money and wealth in my life, I'm going to come back to this path. If I'm wanting more love, I'm going to come back to this path. If I'm feeling lonely in my relationship, I'm going to come back to this path. If I'm noticing I'm feeling fat and ugly and I'm eating too much, I'm coming back to this path. So it's something we come back to again and again and again and again and again. It's so important you understand that, because it's a practice. And it's a practice that deepens and awakens and expands and beautifies and opens up your capacity. And it's a sensual path. And sensual means that it becomes more physical, more here, more body, more real life, more tangible. Right? So this is also very important. And through the senses, we open up gateways into new realms, new dimensions. And the sexual energy through our senses, through our nose and our smell and our hearing, further opens up us to connect to higher frequencies and higher dimensions and have even a more sublime experience, right? So it's always through the female body temple that we get to have this sublime sensual experience, where ultimately we are learning to fall in love with ourselves. We are learning to fall in love with life. We are learning for life to fall in love with us. That's the magical part. But we can't get to the place where life is falling in love with us, where life is making love to us, right? And if we translate that, that's like abundance coming, good things coming, being supported, magic. We can't have that unless we've fallen in love with ourselves and we've learnt to fall in love with life, and then the three are always eventually simultaneously happening, right? I'm falling in love with myself. I'm falling in love with life. Life's falling in love with me. I'm falling in love. And the more life falls in love with me, the more I can love myself, the more I fall in love with life. And this is that sublime, ecstatic movements of awakening, of sensual enlightenment, right? But it's the sexual energy which is the key to it all. When the sexual energy comes up to the heart chakra, you're going to feel like your own soulmate. When your sexual energy comes out through your body, through all your senses to connect to all of life, you're going to feel life super alive. You're going to find it more interesting. And when you allow this in love feeling with yourself and life, you open up a whole new portal. And this is the path. This is the path from the female body temple. I'm sure it is for the male body temple too, right? I'm sure it is for the male body temple, but I'm just not in a male body, so I really don't know, and I can't help here. We've got Erie that's booked it's coming to the London workshop, and but she's from Ireland. I'm not sure if she'll be able to make it. Oh, it's a big journey for you. Yay, we've got a few people coming to the London workshop. Beautiful, beautiful. If you've got any questions, write them into the chat. Sorry, I do go on a little bit. It just comes through. It's like so I hope you just get the keys, the wisdoms. Let it come in. Let the keys and the wisdoms come in. Let the transmission and the codes, let it come in. And come and learn, right? Sometimes, or come and re-listen to this again, but come and learn, come and learn the path. There is so much for you. I've written a whole book upon it. I don't even have the book with me. I should get more organized and bring you the book to show you, but it says Sacred Revolution. Go get the book. But yeah, if you've got questions, please write them into the chat. But the key really is that return back to that Shakti life force. It's a beautiful, and practice it. Practice moving it. Practice letting it exist. Practice being moved by it. Okay. Jazara, are we still going to dance after the masterclass in London? Yes, totally, totally, totally. Actually, I know a place to go dancing if you guys want to come. My friend's putting on a night in London. Gorgeous people. Come to the Living Goddess Retreat. 2 places left, early birds ending. The retreat configures beautifully with the right people that are meant to be there. So it always gets sold out and full every year. So if it's you, come along. Come. If you're on my Sacred Star coaching certification, we've got teacher training after that retreat. Come to that. Gabriella's just put the link up for the book. Thank you, Gabriella. You're a superstar. If you're in London, come to a one-day wild womb workshop. If you're going to Medicine Festival, is anyone going to Medicine Festival this year? Doing another wild womb workshop there. And there's an Almond Base Festival, and I'm doing like a big sexual energy purging extravaganza where we take the sexual energy up through the chakras over like an hour, and we purge all the gunk and stuff out of it. So that's going to be a very liberating experience. So if you're at the Almond Base Festival, come along to that. We also do that exercise in my Living Goddess retreat. And we also have my Lioness summer offer coming up for those that can't make any of that stuff, where it's got all the teachings of sensual enlightenment, but I've also got some extra little goodies in there for you as well, because and one-to-one sessions and all this kind of stuff, because there you need to awaken. For those need to awaken and return back to that energy vibrancy, this is for you. So Katka's saying, I started to feel the tremors like 2 to 3 weeks ago, really full in my body all the time, not just during specific times. So this is absolutely perfect timing for me. Yeah, these Shakti tremors can come up spontaneously as well. The key is to notice it. You know what it is? They become more present. It's not like they're always there, but they become more present. They become more switched on. They become more like here. So the key is to notice it. The key is to breathe it. The key is to let it exist. The key is to let it move through you, right? Until the rest of you falls away. Till the rest of you falls away. So yeah, great. So we've got Joanna saying, do you have the link to the workshop, please? Lovely. Yes. I will send you the link to the workshop, but it will be on my Facebook page. Just look out for Wild Womb. But I will send you the link and I'll do another post on it. But yeah, come to that. It's going to be good. One day with my friend Appy, she's got like sounds, and yeah, it's just going to be wonderful. Yeah, so anyway, this is my goddess vortex. Welcome to goddess season in my world. If you're super curious, you can go to my website and there's a page dedicated to women. Look, women, it's going to have everything on it as well. If you go to my events calendar on my website, you'll find Goddess Retreat in the Wild Womb. But begin with the Shakti tremor. Like, put your favorite music on and just let it move. Let it move you. Let it move you. Let it like. And for some of you who are natural healers, you might feel stuff wanting to release from you. Let it go. Like, breathe it out. Pretend to vomit it out. For others, you might be like, oh, it feels so strong. I don't just like, you might need to sound it out. Oh, or whatever, just to let the release take place. You might want to move your hands to like really free it through your system. You might want to comb your body, your fingers, your hands, to let the energy move through you. You might want to breathe that Shakti energy up and down your spine, let it exist. But you have to let this part of you exist. Let it exist. Let it exist, and everything will be easy. Mindy's read my book and she's loving it. So welcome, Mindy. Okay. Just seeing if there's any other questions. Stephanie's put the link to the Wild Wind workshop on Instagram. So I've got Instagram and Facebook going on at the same time here. Amazing. So Tracy is asking, what makes everything feel like a battle? Well, the battle always begins on the inside. And sometimes we're programmed through our childhood experiences, through the generations, that yes, there is a battle going on. For some people, the war is still going on inside of them, right? Parents warred with each other, family was at war, and then we learnt to be at war with ourselves. And like I said, there are many ways that we can work through all of this. But if you follow this Shakti tremor, I promise you, you will contact a part of you which is very vibrant, very peaceful, very unattached. It's a very unattached energy. It doesn't need to solve anything. It doesn't need to make something right. It doesn't need to heal. It doesn't need to make sense of anything. It's not obligated. It's not responsible. It's just a very pure part of your energy. So contact that. Get to know that part of you. Get to know that peace, that clarity. And then the battle will start to fall away. Fall away. You might want to shake off the battle, release the battle, let it go. But let that life force come up and knit you back together. Because the battle energy is very fractured. It's very conflicting and chaotic. And can be very complex why it's formed. But come back to that Shakti energy, that tremor, and it will start to dissolve and dissipate. Gabriella's being amazing on Facebook there, putting up all my links and stuff like that. You're a superstar, Gabriella. Thank you. Gabriella is traveling all the way from Chile to come to my retreats, by the way. And she's doing both levels of my retreats. So, Gabriella, I can't wait to see you. Yeah, amazing. You're welcome, Tracy. You're welcome. Okay. Amazing. I probably should have called this live the Shakti because that's what we got into, right? And yeah, but maybe the unwanted and wanted woman is good, right? Because the unwanted woman can so easily fall away when we return back to this Shakti part within us, or the sexual energy letting it. Anyway, the point is there's a path of ascension and sensual enlightenment from the female body temple. Come and learn it. Come and learn it. Come for the journey. Come for the journey. I welcome you into my field. I welcome you into my world. I welcome you to find the most extraordinary magic that lives inside of you. I welcome you, or I bless you, whatever. I open up the field so that you can have a summer of love. And a summer of love always begins with yourself. To be honest, you know that in love feeling we get from a relationship, and we feel in love and we feel beautiful and amazing and enlivened, and we're not so hungry anymore, and things are just great and everything just feels better. Well, we need to learn to cultivate that without anybody. That should be our normal, natural state, right? I want to feel in love. I want that in love feeling. But trust me, relationships are going to come and go. Even the best ones will break your heart, because that's the nature of evolving with a soulmate, right? You will always, 100%, always need to have this in love feeling with yourself first and foremost. And when you do, it will make you strong to your core. And the way that we begin this journey of this in love is letting the sexual energy transcend, right? Letting the Shakti energy exist. We have to let our sexual energy make love to us daily, moment to moment. But it's a little bit of training, mindfulness, some stuff that needs to shift, and some repair work that needs to happen, and some new codes put in to make it happen. But this is the ultimate path. Nicola's seeing us at the womb. The wild womb. It's going to be beautiful, Nicola. I can't wait to see you either. Wild womb's going to be a beautiful day. There's space at the wild womb. We've got a nice big venue for that, actually. So come, bring your friends, bring everyone. So good to see you all on Instagram and Facebook and live. I'm sending you the biggest wave of love. Step into the goddess vortex. Step into it. Come for the journey. Come into the the path of sensual enlightenment. And I look forward to seeing you at the retreats or the Wild Womb workshop in London, or on my special Lioness offer that's coming up soon. Watch out for that. But so much for you. And listen, there's also a lot of free things as well. So you can go and take advantage of all the free resources I have, and books and everything as well. And if you don't do anything, Shakti Tremor, find it, be with it, let it exist. And let it really exist. Let it get big. Let it take up space. Let it move you. Let it electrocute you. Let it make you orgasm. Let it make you fall in love with yourself. Let it really ensure that all of your sexual energy begins its journey up, 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 up. It's really hard sometimes to stop these lives. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you all at the workshop too. Okay. Amazing. It's funny, like, I don't know if you can feel it, but the energy's like we've all connected. Maybe all of our Shakti's connected together now. Let's all wake up each other. But please practice it. Like, if take this wisdom, please take it, because it is a big key. It's such a big key. Take the key. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Extraordinary beings. Sending you the biggest wave of love from my heart to your heart. May you feel loved and cherished and everything in between. Terry Ann says she can feel it through her body. Yeah. Good. Oh, beautiful. Terry Ann has been on our beautiful coaching certification, and she's from Canada. Is that right, Terry Ann? Canada? Amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Big kisses. Good night. The Shakti wave. Bye. Oh, thank you. Kisses. I'm seeing all the love and the kisses.